Ahoy there, mateys, it's Miss K, and today we are going to be talking all about maps, specifically treasure maps. If you're able to, please check out the links on the Artsonia project page. That will take you to some interesting historical information about pirates and kind of the history of treasure maps. I learned some things myself. So I'm going to encourage you throughout this whole project to use your imagination and of course to make it your own thing. So this video is for my 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students. So first I'm going to go over the materials you'll need so you can get those out and ready, and then pause the video and come back with all of your tools, and then you should be set to do the project. You can do this in one day, you can take a few days. Again, it's really up to you. So the tools you'll need are some type of drawing or writing utensils. I've got a couple pencils here. They don't even have erasers, doesn't matter. And then I chose just a few markers and pens, so I don't have a whole bunch of colors, but that's up to you. I have a little piece of string here, yarn, twine, anything like that for later. And as far as your paper go, we are going to be making a map today, so you can really use a variety of different papers for this project. It's pretty great that way. You can use a lot of recycled materials you have at home. You don't have to use a fresh, clean piece of paper if you don't want to, or if you don't have one around. You can cut out a piece of cardboard from a box, like a cracker box. You can cut out a piece of paper from a brown paper bag. You can use a piece of newspaper. So there's a lot of options. As far as size, that can be up to you as well. Just would caution you from going too small. If it's too small, you're going to have a hard time fitting in all those awesome details you want to put on your map. The final thing you might want to consider having, and you'll probably need to ask parent or guardian permission for this item, you can go outside and get some mud, a little bit of mud, or if one of your adults at home drinks coffee, you can ask for a few of the grounds, a few of the used grounds. We're going to be using that kind of as a paint of sorts later. Those are all the materials you'll need for the project. Now that I have all my materials ready, the first thing I'm going to do is cut my map out of this paper bag. The next thing I'm going to do is pretty awesome because you don't always get to do this to your artwork. I am going to crumple that thing up. I'm going to get it nice and wrinkly. Basically what I'm trying to do is age the paper. So I want to make it look really old, really ancient, dirty, and wrinkly. So and then I'm going to flatten it back out. Some nice wrinkles in there. Other things I can do to age my paper to make it look old are some little rips. So I can rip small pieces off the edges or the sides, like so. Some rips. And then I'm going to take those coffee grounds or that little bit of mud. You can use a Q-tip or a piece of napkin or even a scrap that you just ripped off. Dip it in the, I have coffee grounds here, so dip it in the coffee grounds. See if you can see this. Get some on your, and then I'm just going to rub it into my paper. I'm actually just going to use my fingers here. And what that will do is stain your paper to make it look nice and dirty, like it's been buried in the ground for years and years. To make it look a little more authentic. I'm going to pick just a few spots to put that. A little bit of darker color. I'm going to let this dry before I start drawing on it, and I'm going to shake off my coffee crumbs into the garbage. Okay. And once it's all dry, then I'm ready to begin my map making. Let me tell you about some of your many choices that you have for making your map. First of all, treasure maps are for everyone, like of all ages. I had an awesome time with this project, so I don't think you're ever too old to make a treasure map. You can go one of two routes. You can go a realistic route, okay, where you actually pick a place at home, obviously, that you want to map out on your paper. So it could be the inside of your house. You could take people through different parts of your house on a treasure hunt, or maybe in your yard if you have room. Or on the other hand, you can go the imaginary route where you make it up in your head. You could take someone on a treasure hunt through the ocean or in outer space on a new planet, in a tropical paradise, like wherever your imagination can take you. You can create that as your map if you choose to. Alright, so here we have some of the steps and things we need to make sure we include in our map. Of course, we'll need a start, somewhere to indicate to whoever finds your map where they should start out, okay, on your map. I usually do that somewhere towards the top of my page on my map so that there's a lot of room to put the rest of the details onto my map. Number 2, I will of course need an X marks the spot, somewhere to indicate where the treasure can be found. Okay. And if you plan on going the realistic route, and you can actually have a sibling or a parent or guardian that lives at home participate in your map making project and actually have them go on a treasure hunt using your map afterwards. See how accurate you marked out your space. That's kind of fun too. Number 3, you'll need a compass rose. That's an important feature in all maps. You'll find one on all maps. Compass rose simply shows the different directions. So you'll see here this sort of plus sign shape with 4 letters. North, south, east, and west are what those letters stand for. Okay? And little arrows on the ends to indicate the different directions. That's to help someone find their way using your map. There are a lot of really intricate ways you can make a compass rose, some really beautiful designs, in fact, of compass rose shapes that you can take a look at. I have a link on my project page on Artsonia. So if you are curious and want to try out a more intricate design for your compass rose, please check those out. If you want to go the basic route here, that's totally fine too. Number 4 and number 5 go together. You will need, I encourage you to do more than this, but at least 5 landmarks or symbols, and then a pathway. Usually in a map, a pathway is indicated with these dashed lines here. So that's what I'm going to use today. If you have a different way of indicating a pathway that you'd like to use, that's totally fine too. And then symbols, okay? Some of you may be familiar with that term as far as art is concerned. If not, a really quick way to look at it is a symbol is just a very simple picture, a simplified image of something to represent something else. I also have a link on my project page on Artsonia for all different kinds of map symbols that are used. I also encourage you to come up with your own. Especially again, my older grades, I encourage you to challenge yourself in the type of symbols that you create. So here we have the last 3 things you'll need on your map. You'll need a key, or some people call that a legend. So that is a place where it explains what each of your symbols means to the viewer. So here those mountains are, and it shows across from them the word. Okay? I encourage you also to add labels, number 7, to all of your different locations on the map, however they are not necessary. And then number 8, again for my older kiddos who are, or anyone who's just looking for more of a challenge, I encourage you to try out some 3D symbols. We were working a lot with some perspective drawing in 5th and 6th grade, and you can incorporate some of that perspective drawing, those perspective drawing skills that you acquired into this map making project. I'm going to video my process so you can take a look at it, and then we'll meet back together afterwards and chat about it. Hey all, wanted to check in, see how your map making was going. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at bkiefer@pointschools.net. Hopefully you're having lots of fun with this project. That's the main goal. Learn a little something about maps, map keys, compass rose, and have a lot of fun. For those kiddos that have younger siblings in their household, this is an awesome project to include your younger siblings in. Have them try and follow your map when you're finished. I definitely encourage you to take this a little bit further and actually to create some sort of treasure for someone to find and follow along your map. Even if you created an imaginary map, you can still have somebody navigate their way. Maybe you just draw the landmarks on little slips of paper throughout your house or something like that. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my map, starting from one end, and just roll it on up. Take that piece of string or twine or rope that you set aside and wrap it a few times, and tie it up. That just makes it kind of fun to discover. I hope you had an awesome time making a map. I know that I have this week, and I look forward to connecting with you and seeing your finished products.